Hello and welcome back. My name is Reti. Around a month ago, my husband Bruno and myself bought an abandoned farm in Central Portugal, and our plan is to turn it into an off-grid permaculture homestead. In this video, I'm going to show you everything what we did on our land within the first week after arriving here. Actually, right after buying the land, we took a permaculture design course to gain some confidence about what we are going to do. And now we are really ready to start our permaculture off-grid journey. Before we start, let me show you a little bit of our land. Our land is around 2 hectares. And this here is our cork forest. Around 1.5 hectares of our land is a cork forest. It was really important for us to have trees on our land. And since we lived before coming here for a while in north of Portugal, and the fire risk there is a big thing, we realized that in Portugal, trees almost always come with a very big fire risk. So we kind of almost gave up the idea about living in the forest or having something like forest or big trees on our land, until we came here and we saw this. This is a cork forest. Isn't it amazing? We have a forest that doesn't really burn, because cork trees are one of the few trees that don't really burn. So we're super happy about our cork forest. We really love it. And even though the land has been abandoned for at least 20-30 years, we still have really nice grapes on the land. I guess somebody has been taking care of those grape plants meanwhile, because they are producing really nice grapes. And even though we have a serious drought this year in Portugal, the grapes are amazing. We have a lot of pear trees. They have also been abandoned for at least, I guess, 20 years, but they still are giving us pears. We also have around 15 olive trees on our land and a registered barn that could possibly be turned into a house, but this is a long-term project. So after a permaculture design course, we moved directly to our land, and we were super motivated to get started. Also because my stepson Tim, who usually lives with us, is right now visiting his grandparents in Austria. So we wanted to get as much work done in this time as possible. So the very first thing that we did is that we cleaned out the barn. It was full of old hay and animal shit and all kinds of things. So we took out around 30 wheelbarrows full of hay and all kinds of other things. And it was super dusty and around 45 degrees outside. We worked really hard, and surprisingly, we got all this work done in half a day. So the same afternoon, we went to a local hardware store to buy a IBC water tank. But in the hardware store, I saw some super cute little seedlings. So being totally overwhelmed, I bought around 40 seedlings of broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, lettuce, and so on. So coming home, I realized that we needed to create homes for our cute little seedlings. I was up the old hay that we had taken out of the barn, and I made something like a mixture of a deep mulch garden bed and lasagna bed and a sheet mulch bed, all mixed together. I basically just used the hay that we took out from the barn and mixed it with some layers of animal manure, kind of broken down animal manure. I was super excited to finally start my garden, and it went much faster than I had thought. So I basically spent the whole afternoon planting, and we managed to plant almost all the seedlings that we had bought, even though it was way too many. of course we don't have a water pump yet. So it's quite some action to manually track up all the water from the well that we need for watering. And with 40 seedlings planted, we have to water now every day. And of course, I had to plant some seeds. I have brought with me at least a kilo of seeds. And of course, I couldn't wait to get them planted. So the very first day that we actually moved to our land, I had to get at least some of the seeds planted. I didn't want to buy some plastic seed trays, so I used some recycled egg cartons, and I have to say they work pretty well. So the second day on our land, we decided to start building a toilet. So we decided to build a compost toilet. And this is my favorite subject. I think I will make a separate video about the compost toilet. That was a pretty perfect screwing.
Very good.
We really needed to get the toilet ready as soon as possible. And since we have a lot of things to get done in a short time, we decided to build it in the fastest way we knew. So we just went to the hardware store and got those pressed wood panels and strong beams. So we made a frame from 7.5 centimeter beams and used pressed wood panels for the walls and for the seat. We have a solar panel on the camper van, so we were able to use the tools. There would definitely be a more sustainable and also cheaper way to build a toilet, but we really needed a toilet fast and we wanted to get it done as soon as possible. When we will build another toilet, we will probably build it from some other material. But come on, that was our first time ever to build a toilet. It took us 2 days and we are actually super happy with the outcome. So the next day after the toilet building was the big day of the well cleaning. Despite the drought, there was still water in our well, but we had to pump it out in order to be able to clean it. We really wanted to get the well cleaned as soon as possible, because there had been a dead animal in the well, and we didn't feel like using this water. We had no idea how long this well was not cleaned before, and what else had been fallen in it. Fortunately, we have good access way to the well, and we were fortunate enough to find a local guy who has a little crane and he was able to park his four-wheel drive truck directly by the well and use the crane to get all the dirt out of the well. It was incredible how much mud we got out of the well. According to the local guy, the well had not been cleaned for at least 50 years. And I guess the amount of mud we got out must have been at least 3-4 tons. It was a bit scary to pump all the water out of the well, because right now in Portugal many wells are drying out, and we don't actually know if the water will come back or not. I found many little baby frogs in the mud that I saved in the bucket to be released back into the well once the water comes back. If the water comes back or not, we will only know it next week.
So how does it feel at the bottom of your land?
Feels muddy. Super muddy.